In the late summer of 40 AD, somewhere on the northern coast of Gaul, thousands of Roman soldiers stood in full battle formation, facing the English Channel. Their orders were to draw swords, level their javelins, and charge the water. When the waves rolled back, the men were told to bend down and gather seashells. These shells, the emperor announced, were the spoils of a great victory over the ocean, to be carried back to Rome and displayed in his triumph. The emperor giving that order was Gaius Julius Caesar Augustus Germanicus. History knows him by the nickname his father's soldiers gave him as a toddler, tromping around camp in tiny boots. Caligula, Little Boots. Caligula came to power in March of 37 AD, at 24 years old. His father Germanicus had been a beloved general. His predecessor Tiberius had been a paranoid recluse. And the new young emperor promised games, bonuses, and a fresh start. For about 6 months, things actually went well. He recalled exiles, paid out bequests, and put on lavish chariot races. The Roman writer Suetonius says the people called him their star, their chick, their baby. Then, in October of 37, Caligula fell seriously ill. Rome held its breath. When he recovered, according to the ancient sources, something in him had changed. He started executing relatives. His cousin Tiberius Gemellus forced to kill himself. His father-in-law dead. His favorite sister Drusilla died of fever, and he had her declared a goddess. He took to wandering the palace at night, allegedly talking to the moon. By 39 AD, the Senate was terrified, the treasury was draining, and a serious conspiracy was forming against him. Caligula caught wind of it. He needed a way out of Rome, and he needed a victory. In the autumn of 39, Caligula left the capital with an enormous entourage and headed north. The official plan was ambitious. He would crush a Germanic uprising along the Rhine, then cross the Channel and add Britain to the empire, something even Julius Caesar had failed to truly accomplish. On the way, he uncovered, or invented, a plot led by the commander of the Upper German legions, Gnaeus Lentulus Gaetulicus. Gaetulicus was executed. So was Caligula's own brother-in-law, Marcus Lepidus. His two surviving sisters, Agrippina and Julia Livilla, were implicated and exiled. Agrippina was made to carry the urn containing Lepidus's ashes back to Rome on foot. By the spring of 40 AD, Caligula was in Gaul with somewhere between 2 and 8 legions, the largest invasion force assembled on that coast in nearly a century. He built lighthouses. He drilled the men. He waited. And then, according to our main sources, the invasion of Britain simply didn't happen. Instead, Caligula assembled the legions on the beach, set up his siege engines pointing at the waves, and climbed into a tall tower to observe. A trumpet sounded. The order went out across the sand: attack the ocean. Suetonius writes that the men stood there bewildered until the centurions started shouting. Then they waded in, slashing at the surf with their swords and stabbing the foam with their spears. When the tide receded, Caligula gave the second order: gather the shells, fill your helmets. These are the plunder of the ocean, owed to the capital and the Palatine. He paid each soldier a bonus of 100 denarii on the spot, called it the most generous donative in Roman history, and announced he would celebrate a triumph in Rome, over the sea. That's the story Suetonius tells around the year 121 AD, more than 80 years after the fact. Cassius Dio tells a similar version around a century later. Both of them hated Caligula and worked from sources written by senators who had every reason to make him look insane. Modern historians have spent 2,000 years trying to figure out what actually happened on that beach. There are basically 4 theories. Theory 1. He really had lost his mind. Epilepsy, hyperthyroidism, the after effects of that 37 AD illness? Take your pick. A genuinely deranged emperor ordered a genuinely deranged attack, and the army obeyed because the alternative was execution. Theory 2. The troops mutinied. Faced with crossing the same dark, storm-prone channel that had terrified Caesar's veterans, the legions refused to board the ships. Picking up shells was a humiliation, a punishment dressed up as a victory parade. We know Roman troops on that coast had mutinied before, in the year 16 AD, under Caligula's own father Germanicus. Making them collect seashells would have been a brutal, public way to break them without killing them. Theory 3. It was a misunderstood ritual. The Latin word for seashells, musculi, also meant a type of military siege shelter and small naval boats. The order to gather musculi may have been the order to collect engineering equipment after a cancelled crossing, and later writers, deliberately or not, took it literally. Theory 4. It was theater. Caligula was a showman. Defeating Ocean, the god the Romans believed circled the entire world, would have been a genuinely unprecedented religious claim. Alexander the Great had supposedly done something similar in India. Caligula was telling his soldiers, and Rome, that he had conquered the edge of the world. Whatever really happened, Caligula did march south with a British prince named Adminius, who had defected to him, and he wrote to the Senate claiming the surrender of the entire island. The Senate, reading between the lines, denied him a full triumph. He held an unofficial one anyway. Less than 5 months later, on January 24th of the year 41 AD, officers of his own Praetorian Guard cornered him in a covered passageway under the palace and stabbed him to death. He was 28 years old. His uncle Claudius was found hiding behind a curtain and proclaimed emperor. 3 years later, Claudius invaded Britain for real, with the legions Caligula had assembled, from roughly the same coastline using the lighthouses Caligula had built. Caligula's name was scratched off monuments. His coins were melted down. The histories that survived were written by the families he had terrorized. So somewhere in the gap between a young emperor playing a god on a beach and an old senator scribbling notes a century later, the real reason those soldiers stooped down for shells got lost. What's left is the story. The emperor who declared war on the sea and won.